Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Good day to you, sir. Good day to you, madam. Care for a cup of tea or a little coffee? Wherever you are in the world, this is Geaux. That's right. I've become a wee bit British, I have. You have to forgive me. I just love American baseball. I don't know what's gotten into me this morning. I got up about 30 minutes ago. Had a few last minute things to get into order before I was ready for this live stream. The game will be kicking off in just a wee bit, maybe about 15 minutes or so. I started the live stream just a little bit early because I've got some changes. I'm running some new software. I think that it's a little stressful on my computer. I would much prefer to get a new microphone because I think having the new microphone would be better. Not that I absolutely 100% need a new microphone. My audio wasn't bad before. I'm just trying to eliminate the hiss. I want you guys to be able to hear my talking, hear my voice, but the hiss and the quality, I want it to be better. In the past, I was having to jack up my audio, I guess you could say my input microphone level to like 130%. This mic, it should be a little closer to my mouth, but it sticks way out to the side. It's not adjustable. It's adjustable up and down, but not back and forth. It's a flawed design, but then again, it's a mid-range, maybe not even a mid-range headset. It's not the cheapest, but it is cheap. I think I can fix my logo just a little bit. It's too far up. Maybe it needs to be down just a little. Right there. Yeah, right there is good. I think you can see it better if it's right there. Presidente. Welcome to the Astros channel. My name is Brandon. You can call me Ignacio or El Presidente. I prefer El Presidente. Then, welcome to the channel. Today's game is Game 1 versus the Philadelphia Phillies. They are stinking trash, and you will see that very soon. On the mound is Ranger Suarez. His first name is English style, American style. His last name is Spanish style. No comprendo, amigo. But yeah, if you want to call me El Presidente, be my guest. I always tell people, call me whatever you like. Just don't call me an expletive. If you don't know what an expletive is, well then, you should get a dictionary. Update your learning. An expletive is a curse word. So there you go. I have made some modifications, not only to my API, but to some other things. How do you like that? Beautiful Daikin Park with the roof closed. We got us a game about to start in just a few minutes, maybe 10 minutes from now. In June, the Astros are 14-6. I'm not sure if it's still the best record in MLB for this month, but it just might be. If it's not, it's probably the second best. Glenn says, I live next to Philly from 04? Oh, 0 to 4 years old and from most of high school. So theoretically, I'm neutral tonight, but I'm not. Presidente as in I'm a president. I am present at roll call. Oh, presento. Is that how you say present? That's one Spanish word I don't know. I literally studied 1 year of Spanish in high school. Of course, Americans, just by default, even if we don't study Spanish, we pick up a lot of words, right? It's just impossible to grow up in America and not pick up a bunch of phrases and words in Spanish. But I studied for 1 year in high school. I was supposed to have Spanish 2 and maybe even Spanish 3. But our Spanish teacher became the principal and was not able to teach us Spanish 2. And they couldn't find another language teacher, but in order to graduate high school, you had to have at least 2 years of a foreign language. So they brought this old lady in out of retirement. I don't have anything against old people, but she looked like she was already a corpse. And man, she had an attitude. I'll never forget her, Miss Courtney. She was a very small, tiny, decrepit, frail old lady, and she had an attitude to match. She disliked me from the moment she met me. She's one of those kind of people that her whole face was wrinkled because of her age, but she had like a permanent frown and expression of dislike on her face. Even her resting face looked terrible. I'm not saying that to be mean, but she was a very unhappy woman for many reasons, and to this day, I still don't know. I'm sure she died decades ago. It's not a joke. She was already quite old. There's no way she's still alive. If she's still alive, she's probably 140 or something like that. But she disliked me so much because at the time, art and sports were the most important thing in my life. And she came in to teach us Latin. Are you kidding me? We're in Louisiana and we couldn't even get a French teacher. We could have at least had French, that would have been something. But instead they brought in a teacher who was retired, about 100 years old, and teaching us a dead language. It made absolutely no sense. So my heart wasn't into it at all. I didn't care about Latin, and everybody else thought it was a joke. But of course, you have a few students who are really serious about their studies. And to me, if I didn't care about it, like biology and some math classes, like geometry, I would do just enough to pass, but I would not care too much about it. Anyway, I was dressed up in my baseball gear one day when I was supposed to go play baseball. We had a game, and the coach told us we had to leave and come down to the field by a certain time in order to warm up for the game. We had another team visiting another school. It's pretty obvious that if you have a game early in the afternoon, right before school's finished, then you have to leave your last class a little early in order to get down there and get prepared. I had already changed into my uniform because I was not going to have time to change into my uniform after. She was supposed to let me leave the class about 20 or 30 minutes early. She refused to do it. And I tried to explain to her why I was supposed to leave early. And she just looked at me. She said, "You think you're so special, don't you?" And I said, excuse me? And she said, you're just one in a million. One in a million. What an inspirational teacher, right? You'd think that somebody at that age would have learned something about life. I really do hope that she was able to change before she passed away, but I do not suspect that she did. I do not suspect it. Sadly, sadly, sadly. Let's see here. Sergio, Casey are in the building. Welcome, guys. Good to see you, gentlemen. Gentlemanly gentlemen. Yes, Sergio, just a few minutes away. Casey says, my Spanish teacher in high school, when I was a senior, she got pregnant by another student. Whoa. Wow. You know, the funny thing is guys always respond differently to that. We say, wow, that guy, good job. Good job. You were with the teacher. Good job. But, you know, we always let, it seems that the public and people always let the adult woman, the adult female teacher off the hook whenever she is promiscuous with the students. But whenever the guys are promiscuous with the female students, they hang them. Glenn says, you keep losing audio, at least where I am. Really? Okay. Well, I've got my microphone enhancer on to clean up the audio. If for some reason it messes up or whatever, I'll try to turn it off. Whenever you say you keep losing audio, if what it sounds like is when I stop talking, suddenly the audio goes to like 0, that's not losing audio. I'm not losing audio. It's just taking out everything that's not my voice. So it's super quiet, by the way. Hey, Chris, welcome in. Good to see you. Hey, Daniel, welcome back. Still got a commercial going on right now on the MLB TV. On the MLB TV. I've got a little snack here. This is one of those things that I would like to send out to you guys if anyone wants it. But whenever I get to 1,000 subscribers, I'll be sending this in a package for a winner. Gonna have a raffle or a drawing. There you go. You can kind of see it. Let me take it out. I guess you can kind of say it's like it's a crispy pancake, kind of cookie, crispy cookie pancake with peanuts. I'm not exactly sure what to call it. Some kind of coffee. Senka tabemasu. Tabemasen ka? It says in I can read that in Japanese. It says tabemasen ka. Just says, it means can you eat? Tabemasu is Japanese for eat. Tabemasen means I can't eat. But tabemasen ka, can you not eat, is what it literally means. Can you not eat? Can you not eat it? It's got maybe it's a coffee cake. Maybe that's what it is. It's got a picture of coffee on there. Maybe that's why I like to have it with coffee. It's like a coffee cake. Have you guys had one of those? But this is from the local hardware store. There's a shop. There's a company not too far from here in this area that makes these. and they sell them at a few different local shops, and you can get them at the home center. Check it out, guys. Framber Valdez on his way to the mound right now. Yeah, we've almost hit 10 likes already on the live stream. 10 before the game starts is good. One of these days, it'd be cool to have 100 likes. How cool would that be, Sergio? 100 likes before the live stream even starts. That'd be freaking awesome. Glenn says that the issue with the audio was when he was here alone. Maybe it was some kind of ghost issue. Yeah, Sergio, I agree with you. Framber on the mound today. We're starting this series off right. Are we not? Are we not entertained? If we take a look at the Astros schedule for the next couple of days, we can see here's Philly right here, right? I think we have the best lineup that we can possibly have to win this series. Valdez, Gordon, and Brown. Valdez and Gordon will be pitching. Unfortunately, we will not get Hunter Brown in the series versus Chicago, but Valdez is scheduled to pitch the last one. However, once again, we have Gusto and Valdez. So I feel pretty good about our chances when you look at it, really. I think game 1 and game 3, we have a really good chance of winning against Philadelphia and a so-so chance with Gordon. Chicago, it's the same thing, except with Walter, it's very iffy. It's a coin toss, but then with Gusto and Valdez, I think we had the best chance to win. What do you guys think? Glenn is predicting extra innings. He says it typically happens when it's late in Poland and he's too tired to watch. Okay. That's kind of interesting. The very first pitch, very low, called a strike. Here's the next pitch. Hit up the middle is going to be caught. Yes, Jake Myers is able to get over and get it. 2 pitches out, number 1. Game is well underway, guys. Down goes Trey Turner. Kyle Schwarber comes to the plate. Here comes the pitch. That was in the dirt, ball 1. Sergio says 100 likes coming soon. Man, I'm looking forward to that. Sergio, there's some interesting things I could tell you and the other guys about my stats. 95. So far, the umpire is looking pretty decent. That one was up in the outer corner. Called strike 1. The count is 1-1 to Schwarber. Whoops, I kept that on the screen way too long. Can't be doing that. Ball 2. Casey says, I think Farmer needs to keep his cool. I think you mean Framber. He goes unhinged when he starts walking people. Too far inside, ball 3. 3-1 is the count. Casey, you are right, but Fromber has made a lot of progress with his patience. So he's gotten a lot better with that. Right in there and fouled back by Schwarber. It's a full count. My base runner API is updated again. You guys have absolutely no idea the amount of effort that I had put in total, and I put in again yesterday on trying to fix it. I don't know yet if it works, but we'll find out. Here comes the 3 dials it off on the left side. It finally updates. The game API finally updates, and it's on my man, Jose Altuve. That's another thing that I was able to get fixed. You notice it has the full picture. Before, it was kind of squashing them down and putting them into like an oval shape. I was able to fix that. Here comes the 0-1 pitch. He tries to bunt it, but he fouls it off. 0-2. Butterfly says, put the link for your other channel so I can subscribe. Thank you. I appreciate that. Let me grab it for you in just a moment. 2 outs, nobody on. Altuve at the plate. Here comes the slow delivery finally from Suarez. Nope. Altuve calls timeout. And rightly so. Suarez was taking his time on that pitch. 0-2. The crowd cheers a little bit. I guess they're cheering because they think he's scared of Altuve. He probably is. Can't blame him. Next pitch is in the dirt. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Oh, there was a pitch clock violation. I thought there was a timeout by Altuve. It's 2-2. Altuve goes down on the low pitch. Swing and a miss. Maybe a foul tip. Out number 3. 3 up and 3 down for Suarez. He doesn't give up any hits or base runners. Unfortunate. Let's see here. Where is that link? One second, Butterfly and others, anyone interested? This is it. There you go. For those of you who are interested, I'm not trying to push it, but I have to mention it because it's a big part of my life. As you can see behind me, this house here is quite old. I've got a couple of screens covering up back here, but all around this room, there are 0 walls. 0 walls. It's just wooden posts, and there are sliding doors. So every room in this house has sliding doors, and it used to have the tatami. Every room, there are 6 huge rooms. Each room is about, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, let's see, 6, 12, 12 and a half feet square. 6 rooms, 12 and a half feet by 12 and a half feet. Or you could say 4 meters by 4 meters. And you can open up every room to connect all of them, or you can connect some of them. You can do what you want. There's not a high level of privacy, of course, but the design is highly functional. And since I'm here by myself, it's fine for me. Right now, anyway. I plan to turn it into a business. That's why I bought it. Comes the first pitch to Otto Kemp in the dirt. Ball 1. Thank you, Butterfly. Thank you for the subscription to my channel. Scott Boras is also representing Hunter Brown in his contract negotiations. Okay. High outside. I didn't know that, Sergio. Hey, Caesar, welcome in. I didn't see your message until just now, so thank you for being here. Good to see you. 2 balls and 1 strike to Kemp. That one's in the dirt, too. 3 balls and 1 strike. Is it just me, or is Fromber throwing a lot of balls today? Also, is it just me, or is it a little hot? I need to get my fan over here. It's not pointed at me. Starting to feel that real quick. That's also almost in the dirt. Ball 4. A 5-pitch walk by Fromber. What in the world's going on? Goodness, a quick sneeze just came on. Sergio says the Stankies are leading the Reds 3-0 in the middle of the 5th. Thanks for the update, Sergio. Here comes the pitch. It's just 1 out, but it's the lead runner at third base. Now that's some sharp defensive work that we don't normally see from Fromber. It went right up the middle to him. The cameraman got confused and went to second base for some reason. So the cameraman was sleeping, but Fromber was on duty. 1 away. Runner still on first and second. Johan Rojas is at the plate. First pitch in there. That's nice. Bottom of the zone, 96 miles an hour. You know, Fromber pitching a little low might not be such a bad idea this game, actually, because the umpire is calling it when it's low. He's calling it. Here's the next pitch. Bounced foul. So even though Fromber has missed with several balls kind of in the dirt, as long as he keeps it within an inch or two of the bottom of the plate, or the bottom of the zone, rather, bottom of the plate. As long as he keeps it within an inch or two of the bottom of the zone, he can get that strike call from this umpire. So might not be such a bad thing that he's pitching low today. We'll see. 0-2 against Rojas. Here's the toss. Hey, swing and a miss. Another K. 2 strikeouts for Fromber. So the first 2 guys get on. Fromber comes back with a ground ball out and strikeout. 2 on, 2 out. 19 likes on the live stream. I need 1 more to get to 20. Here's the pitch to the next batter. Trey Turner hits that into right field, but Cam Smith is able to get it on the warning track. Pretty deep, but put away. How about that? Fromber gets out of the old-fashioned jam. That's what I like to see. That's the Fromber I like to see. That's the kind of pitching I like to see early in the game. The pitcher still trying to kind of find his control, find his rhythm, having a little trouble, but able to get out of it. I think this is the difference between a calm and collected professional pitcher. Assuming the pitcher isn't having any control issues or physical problems, it's usually just kind of a mental issue that they have to get over. And one of the guys that was really good at doing that most of the time was Verlander. Verlander would often have some trouble early, right? First couple of innings, struggle a little bit, get into a jam, maybe give up a run or 2, but then calm down after that and pitch a solid game. That was classic Verlander. Hunter Brown also does that sometimes. Fromber does that sometimes. It's kind of a hallmark of a good pitcher. Butterfly says it's 86 degrees here right now in Austin. A cool front came in. 86, yeah, it's a cool front. That's right. That's right. I don't miss being there. I don't miss being there in that area. Between Houston and Shreveport, Louisiana, in that area there, I know the temperature's there, and I don't miss it at all. Right now, let's see, what is it? What is it right now? What is the temperature? It's 25 Celsius here right now. It's 77. 77 degrees at 9:35 in the morning here in Hiroshima, Japan. It's been raining a lot. Rained a lot last night. The cool thing about Japan, as compared to that area you're talking about, or at least in Shreveport, whenever it would rain, it wouldn't cool it down. But here in Japan, whenever it rains, it always cools it down a little bit. Myers is at the plate, takes the first pitch for strike one. 2 hits for the Phillies, no runs, no errors. Houston has no hits, no runs, no errors. They are all zeros right now. Here comes the pitch. Wow, see, that's what I'm talking about right there. That's a little low and outside, below the zone. It was completely below the zone, but called a strike. The umpire is calling the low pitches for strikes. 0-2. Myers takes a little break. Now he's back in the box. Here comes the 0-2 pitch from Suarez. Inside, bounces off the catcher's glove. I guess he wasn't expecting it to be there. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Yes, Caesar. Tommy likey. Tommy wants swingy, but not here. Tommy want hitty. Oh, look at that. And he's calling it on both sides. That was the top of the zone. See, this umpire, I don't know. You can't really argue with his calling so far, his calls, because he's giving just at the top of the zone, or right outside the top of the zone, right outside the bottom of the zone. He's calling it consistently so far, so I can't complain. He's just got an expanded zone. Cam Smith is at the plate. He goes after that first one on the outside edge, fouls it off, strike one. Yeah, Butterfly, the resort would be fun. This is a nice big house, beautiful land, a small mountain in the backyard, very private, huge stone wall. So my goal is to have a like a hot bath, an outdoor hot bath for people to relax together. You know, the onsen, Japanese onsen style. Here's the next pitch to Cam. Opposite field hit, foul ball. 0-2. I'm modernizing the kitchen, modernizing the bathroom, but the rest of the house will keep its traditional look. I'm a cabinet maker. Well, I've done many jobs, but here's the next pitch. Right in there, strike 3. Cam Smith is looking on the inside corner. 90-mile-per-hour sinker. He just stood there and took it. 2 up and 2 down. Suarez is all over it today with just 15 pitches. 16 pitches now. Christian Walker comes to the plate. He's retired 5 Astros batters in a row. Here comes the first pitch to Walker. Low and outside, ball 1. The curveball misses. Put it away. So 3 up and 3 down again. The Astros are going down in order so far. It only took about maybe 18 pitches in the first 2 innings. Took 18 pitches for Suarez to put the Astros down 6 in a row. Hey, Mark, good to see you. Welcome in. Brendan, thank you for being here. Thank you for coming in. Good to see you. Butterfly says, I like Verlander. He has a new daddy. I heard he had a baby. Oh, I didn't know that. Yeah, it's too bad that age is just catching up with his ability. You know, you can't play forever. That's the thing about sports. There are some sports that you can play forever, but I don't consider them really sports, like table games. Some people call billiards or pool. They call that a sport. That's a game. It's not a sport. If you can play it when you're 90 years old, that's not a sport. That's a game, but not a sport. Fox at Bat says, hi, everyone. Hello to you. Thank you for being here. Let me grab my fan right quick. It's a little warm over here. Be right back. Go Astros. All right, there we go. I've got a little fan behind me. It was kind of going back and forth, but mostly pointed at my bed way over there in the corner, because at night, that's the reason why. Can you believe it that it's just a few days away from July, and the only thing that I need is a little fan, a little tiny fan about this big that goes, it oscillates back and forth, keeps me nice and cool at night. Don't need anything else. First pitch to Schwarber is a strike. Next pitch is a little low and outside for ball one. 1-1. Sometimes, I'm not joking, give me August here, and I wake up cold in the middle of the night. I have to grab a blanket. Low and outside in the dirt. Ball 2, 2-1. Leadoff batter is Kyle Schwarber for the Phillies, the Philadelphia Phillies. Nobody on, nobody out. Here's the pitch. Wow, I can't believe the umpire didn't call that one. That one was clearly at the very bottom of the zone, just a little outside of the zone. He usually calls it a strike, but he called it a ball, 3-1. That's disappointing. That one's also too low. The curveball misses down. Schwarber walks. Another 5-pitch walk from Fromber. What is going on, man? Stop walking people, dude. Fromber is already up to 30 pitches. 34. 34 pitches for Fromber Valdez this game. He's got basically twice as many as Suarez right now. Bohm is at the plate. Here's the pitch. That's in there. 90-mile-per-hour changeup taken for strike one. Yeah, you're right, Sergio. We definitely need to give Hunter and Fromber run support. Of course, we need to give all of our pitchers run support. Phillies are not a bad team. They're no joke. If we can get at least 4 runs each game against the Phillies, that will be good. That should be the goal. Get no less than 4 runs. Here comes the 1-1 pitch to Bohm. Swing and fouled off. 1 ball, 2 strikes. You guys are talking about bingo? I can't play bingo. I don't have the patience for bingo. And there's no skill involved. That's the thing about bingo. You just sit there and just wait for your numbers to be called. And you might get them, you might not. Here's the next pitch. Swing and a miss. All right. Bohm goes down. Another K for Fromber. Oh, they're showing the Silver Slugger bobblehead. Oh, that's pretty cool. They got 7 of these that are silver. You see that? Most fans will be getting a regular one. Might be a double play. Pena over to DeBon. DeBon over to Walker. They get him. Double play. There's the Fromber special. There's the Fromber special, guys. Awesome. That ends the inning. That's what I like to see right there. Fromber gets a guy on base. Wipes him clean with a double play. Oh, yeah. We go into the bottom of the third. 0-0. 2 hits for the Phillies. None yet for the Astros. All goose eggs otherwise. They're talking about the Silver Slugger bobblehead that they're giving out at Daikin Park to celebrate Jose Altuve. They're giving out 10,000, but they're giving out 7 because he's had 7 Silver Slugger awards. So they're giving out 7 special ones that are mixed in with the 10,000. And the special one they're giving out is completely silver. They're giving out 7 that are just completely silver. Pretty cool, huh? I think those 7 silver color ones will be worth some money. Yeah, butterfly, I want one too. I really do. Butterfly says, you can play for a very long time age-wise. Yes, Butterfly, I think so. I think I have memories of many older people in my family going and sitting in the bingo hall or the VFW hall, right, and playing bingo. I never got it. Even as an adult, I don't get it. And the thing is, my mindset is different. I'm a different type of person, so I'm not the kind of person who's looking forward to retirement and just relaxing and sitting out on the lake or something like that, or just fishing. My dad was always that type of guy, your traditional guy. He believes that a man should be sweating and working with his hands, and your hands should be really rough because of the work that you do, and you should be out in the sun, sweating really hard. And life is torment. Work is torment. That's a man's life, and that's biblical. You know, my dad was interesting to say the least, but his ideas were pretty warped. You could say indoctrinated, brainwashed ideas. First pitch in there to Yadier Diaz, right in the middle of the plate for strike 1, and that starts the bottom of the third. Here comes the next pitch. Taps that one just to the right side. Second baseman is going to grab and just barely throw him out in time. Yadier almost had himself an infield hit, but he's not Altuve or Pena or Cam Smith, so he's not a slow guy, but he's no speedster either. Cooper Hummel comes to the plate. Batter number 8 in the lineup today for the Astros, batting 133 through 9 games. Hummel batting right-handed. Here comes a pitch. Upper outer corner for strike 1. They did say that yesterday Jordan was hitting off of a tee. That's something, I guess. Here comes the pitch. That's also in there. Strike 2. Hummel takes 2 strikes back to back. Here comes the next pitch. A little high. Ball 1. Butterfly says, I know a lot of Philly fans. We need to beat them. I agree. And I don't like Philly fans. I don't really know any personally, thank God. Swing and a miss, strike 3 on the way outside. That's not even on the edge. That was way out of the zone. Hummel goes down. Strikeout. 2 up and 2 down. 8 batters retired in a row by Suarez. That brings up Mauricio Dubon, who's been really on fire recently. 4 home runs on this road trip. On the road trip, rather. Swing and a miss. Strike 1. Let's see if he can continue his home run streak here at home in Dykene Park. Here comes the 0-1 pitch. Hey, is that one down? Oh, almost. Line drive to left field. A good swing on that low pitch, that low curveball. He ripped it down the third base side, just foul by a few feet. That could have been all the way to the wall for extra bases. Dubon just barely missed getting the first hit and first base runner of the game for the Astros. Here, grab it and throw him out. So, strikeout on an absolutely terrible pitch. The Astros looking really trashy right now at the plate. 9 up and 9 down. They haven't done anything at the plate even remotely decent. Haven't seen anything that looks even slightly good so far. 33% of this game is gone. Nary a hit. Gonna have to turn this around. Sergio, I will tell you this. This is for everybody in case you're wondering. Right now you see on the screen it shows Dubon at the bat, right? It shows Dubon batting. and it might lag a little bit sometimes. Usually it's working right on time, but sometimes it might lag. If you're wondering why sometimes it doesn't show the batter and why is there a lag, it has nothing to do with me. Zero to do with me. This information comes from the MLB site. My system here automatically checks it every 5 seconds. So it updates it every 5 seconds. So as soon as Dubon, Dubon was the third out. Let's use somebody else as an example. Let's say that Dubon is the first batter. He's the ninth batter, right? But let's say he's the first batter in the inning. There are no outs, and he flies out. The next batter is Pena. Pena's the first batter. Here's the thing. The information on the MLB site through the API, okay, an API is just a connection from, it sends out the information about the game. So that updated information that Dubon has struck out and the next batter is Jeremy Pena, that information is sent out from the MLB API. And as soon as it is, I get it within 5 seconds because my setup checks that information every 5 seconds. So if there's an update, you'll see it on the screen. If there is no update on the screen, it's not me. It's the MLB site not sending out the information, just to let you know. So if you see the batter on the screen does not match who's at the plate, like right now, I think Dubon is still showing, but right now we have Real Muto at the plate. 2 balls and no strikes. Now it's updated, you see? Now it's updated, but that has nothing to do with me. Today, the MLB site, for some reason, it's just behind. It's a little laggy. That's in there for strike 1. 2 balls and 1 strike to Real Muto. Now, there are some things that maybe get off on the live stream, and that's something I have to fix. But as it relates to the API, there's out number 1. 1 up and 1 down for Fromber. Next batter is Otto Kemp. Here's the first pitch to Kemp. There we go. Right on the outside edge, strike 1. Nice stinker. Mark says he's going to play T-ball against kids. That would be funny if Jordan down and make that play. Should have made that play, but, you know, good play by Paredes. That's how it's done right there. Grounded over to the left field side, right down the line. Snatched by Diaz. Holy freaking cow. Man, now that's how you do it right there. That is defense right there. Paredes is solid, man. Kemp is out. At home. Runners on first and second with 2 outs. Johan, strike 1. Woo, man. Mariners beating the Twins 5-2 in the bottom of the 4th. Thank you for that update, Sergio. Rangers Suarez has 6 wins, 1 losses with the ERA 2.1 this May. Have something to do with the Astros, says Juan. Trouble hitting him. Yeah, he's doing pretty well right now, right? Recently, he's doing pretty well. Rojas takes a moment, calls timeout, steps out of the box. 3 hits for the Phillies. 1 error on the Astros on Christian Walker. Here comes the 2-out, 2-runner on pitch. 0-1 is the count. Right in there. Nice pitch. The curveball finds its mark in the bottom of the zone. 0-2. Top of the batting orders do it for the Astros in the next inning. Come on, Fromber, get that K. Here's the pitch. Pop up might be playable over on the first base side and just into the crowd. Walker can't get to it. Climb through the netting, Walker. Dive into the crowd. You don't have a pocket knife? Every man needs to carry a pocket knife. I've actually had guys act like I had two heads. Sometimes they say, "Let me see your pocket knife." And I say, "Oh, I don't have a pocket knife on me." And then they are like, "You don't have a pocket knife?" Like I'm a retard or something. Yeah, because this is Japan. Can't just carry a pocket knife around like that in the city. Can't do that. Japan is not America. You can have a pocket knife out in the country. Around here, it's okay. But in the city, just walking around with a knife in your pocket, you can't do that. Tap down the third baseline, just foul. Cal remains 1 ball, 2 strikes to Rojas. Yeah, Brendan, the Twins are a mediocre team. I wouldn't say they suck. They're not like a really bad team, but mediocre. Here comes a 1-2 pitch from Fromber. Rojas takes that too far inside for ball 2, 2-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, 2 runners on first and second. That one there, just a little too far inside. Yeah, Fromber was a little upset, but he laughed about it, so he's not in a bad mood. Here's the 2-2. Check swing, did he go? No, they say he did not. So close. Fromber smiles at that one. Astros announcer said that Fromber looks frustrated, or he said he was frustrated at that call, but I don't think so. Look at him. He's like, "Oh, man," and he smiles. He's not frustrated. He thought it was good. He wasn't angry. Full count. He's going to throw a good pitch right here. Here it comes. There we go. Fly ball center field, right to Jake Myers, no problem. Boom, come on. Out number 3. There we go. Told you. Good pitch. Fromber gets out of another jam. Keeps the score at goose eggs, guys. Gives up a hit. Couple of base runners, but gets out of it. A little bit of working it out for Fromber the first few innings. He's having to work, man. He's sweating it up. He's sweating it up, but he's getting her done. Fromber's getting her did. I think I'm going to run in here and grab some half and half for my coffee. My second cup of coffee will be a little weak, so I'm going to add some creamer to make it taste a wee bit better. A wee bit better. Butterfly says, is the crime rate pretty low there? Unbelievably low. Unbelievably low. As long as Japan can keep the foreigners out, and by foreigners, I mean the so-called immigrant workers that are not really immigrant workers, a lot of them. They've got a lot of questionable people. I think you guys know how a lot of countries around the world, there seems to be some kind of agenda going on by these international governmental organizations to just start shoving people into the countries, and they call them refugees, typically, and they're not really refugees. They're a bunch of people causing problems. There's a little bit of a problem like that going on in Japan right now, but I hope they're able to nip it in the bud, because I do not want Japan to change. There are some ways it needs to improve, but I don't want Japan's culture and traditions and safety to change. Let me go grab the creamer right quick. I'll be right back. Jeremy Pena's due up. Well, even with great speed, I missed the first pitch. There's the second pitch, high and inside to Pena. It is a ball, and that evens the count. 1-1. The very first pitch, which I missed, it was a strike. Here's the 1-1 pitch. He hits this one hard in the center field all the way out to the wall, but playable, man. Oof. Rojas runs backwards really quickly. A nice drive by Pena, but it didn't quite make it far enough to be dangerous. One away. Isaac Paredes. Isaac the ball. Comes to the plate. By the way, look at the round. First pitch to Paredes is in there for strike one. He didn't really like the call, but it is what it is. How did I get coffee grounds all over my mouse pad? I don't know. Here comes the 0-1 pitch. Way high. Haven't seen too many balls that far out of the zone. 1 ball, 1 strike to Paredes. Score some runs this inning. Yes, that's right, Sergio. Let's score. Let's put up some runs. Even 1 run here in the bottom of the 4th would be nice. Come on. Let's take a lead here. This is a tough game, but let's take the lead. There we go. Suarez kind of losing his edge there. Way up high and outside. 2 balls and 1 strike. Butterfly, just so you know, here in Japan, even if you're a woman, you can go anywhere you want at any time of night, anywhere, literally, in all of Japan, and it's okay. Next pitch is fouled off, low and inside. 2 balls and 2 strikes. To Isaac the ball Paredes. Isaac the ball. Paredes. Tell me, Mr. Paredes, I heard you suck the ball. Is this correct? Is this a true story or just a myth? That next pitch to Paredes is too far inside for ball 3. Full count. It is foul. Man, just by a few inches. He ripped that ball. We're going to have another 3 line too. But again, foul. Man, Paredes is putting the ball on that. Putting the ball on the bat. He's definitely putting the bat on the ball right now. I wish I would stop getting these random messages from my software saying my screen is excellent. Too far inside and low. Paredes grabs a walk. Good at bat. Astros have a base runner. Thank goodness. With 1 out. Wow. That was quick. Altuve hit it straight to Suarez. Suarez throws the first. They tag Paredes out. Double play. Oh my gosh. Goodness gracious. As soon as they get a guy on base, the very next pitch, boom, done. Sad face. Sad face. Super sad face. I can become a little happier if you guys can leave me some more likes on the channel. Still at 518 subs. Haven't picked up any new subs. I know for a fact, though, from looking at my statistics and my analytics, that almost half of everybody listening into the live stream is not a subscriber. If you're an Astros fan, I would invite you to subscribe to my channel. I am live streaming play-by-play every single Astros game. Every Astros game this season. By the way, I'm going to see, why is my hat so crooked? I have no idea. I'm planning to live stream the All-Star game as well, if I can. I'm not sure if I have access to it, but I'm going to check the pricing. If it's reasonable, I will get it. And then I will live stream that. I think we're going to have about 4 or 5 days with no games. So I've actually been working on coming up with some other content, and I'm thinking about doing some other things, even doing kind of a live stream chat to talk about the first half of the season. and how the Astros have improved over last season, or how they compare to last season, plus what's coming up, the games and the expectations for the next half of the season. So thinking about doing that live stream during the All-Star break. Yeah, that's right. It is a bummer, but it's okay. First batter now at the plate for the Phillies. First pitch from Fromber is a ball. Trey Turner is at the plate, not Jose Altuve. It's a great throw to first. Bohm is out. That's what I'm talking about right there. 3 up and 3 down. Nice clean inning for Fromber. Didn't have to throw too many pitches. Maybe about 8 or 9 pitches that inning. 3 up and 3 down. Good result for Fromber in the top of the 5th. He's getting it done, guys. He's had to work. He has had to work, but he's through 5 innings with just 3 hits and no runs. So how do you like that? He is over 60 pitches now, but that's no big deal. If he's capable of throwing 90, he could go pretty deep into the game. He could. Yes, Astroworld. Absolutely, I remember Astroworld. I've been to Astroworld. When I was a kid, I went there a couple of times. I lived in Houston from the time I was a baby until about 7 years old. That's the reason I became Houston fan. Houston Oilers, Houston Astros, Houston Rockets. I had a lot of posters on my wall. I had Warren Moon posters. I had Hakeem Olajuwon posters. I never got a poster of Glenn Davis, but I had a lot of his baseball cards. The Big Bopper. My favorite running back, I wonder if any of you guys even know him. His name is Gary Brown. Gary Brown was a backup. I think it was when Lorenzo White went down for a while. Gary Brown was the backup, and he came in. He didn't have a complete season as a starter, but the games that he played, his numbers were insane. He was a little overweight, and I think somebody was talking about if he were able to get in shape, he would be a complete beast, because he just did so amazingly well when he came in from being a backup. But for some reason, I don't know why, he just kind of fell away and disappeared. But I was a big Gary Brown fan for a while, and he won me over quick. Jake Myers is at the plate, hits the first pitch into center field, and that's going to be a fly out. 1 away. I'm sorry, Cam Smith. Did I say Jake Myers? Yeah. Oh, that's right. It was Jake Myers. It was Jake Myers. Cam Smith was just already at the plate by the time that ball was caught. That confused me. Cam Smith is so anxious to bat. He was already in the batter's box when that ball was caught, when Myers' fly ball was caught. Here's the next pitch. That's in there. So 1-1 to Cam Smith. Man, Cam Smith is really wanting to hit. He's like, let's do this thing. He's 0 for 1 today. Here comes a 1-1 pitch. Swings at that one, fouls it off into the crowd. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Butterfly, there are a lot of different things that I could do for a live stream here at my house, but there wouldn't be anything worth showing for a garden. I don't have time for a garden. That's the main reason I don't have a garden. Outside, ball 2, 2-2 to Cam Smith. It's not Jake Myers. Ignore that on the screen. It's not updated. Thanks to MLB. They're having issues today. It happens sometimes. Way outside, ball 3, full count. Good inning for Fromber, says Sergio. Let's give him some run support. Yes, please, let's do it. Butterfly says, my dad was an Oiler fan with Bum Phillips. We had an Oiler room in our home. Man, yes, I was All in on the Oilers. I had blue everything. Baby blue, white, red, everything. I even had a big flag. I went to the only Oiler game I was actually able to see. It was while I lived in Louisiana in the Superdome. I never got to see the Oilers in the Astrodome. I really am sad about that. But when I went to that game, I took my Oilers flag, my Oilers hat, my Oilers shirt. Cam Smith hits this one right to Suarez, who catches it. Out number 2. A little line drive. It wasn't hit too hard. He was able to grab it. Yeah, he was able to get that no problem. Out number 2. Still no hit. No hits for the Astros. No hitter through 4 2/3 inning. Christian Walker comes to the plate. Will Walker be the unlikely man to get the first hit for the Astros? Let's see. Here comes the first pitch from Suarez. Right in there for strike 1. Not a good start. 89-mile-per-hour cutter. Earl the Pearl Campbell. Yeah, Earl Campbell is definitely famous. Hit really hard down into left field. Just foul, man. Another almost multiple base hit for the Astros. Walker will go back to the plate with an 0-2 count. Astros have had a few of those. Ripped, just foul. I actually went to LSU, but I went to the satellite school in Shreveport, Louisiana, so I didn't go to the main campus in Baton Rouge. Unfortunately, I wish I had, but I did go down to LSU to see several football games. I love watching the LSU Tiger football games. Those are fun. If you've never been to Tiger Stadium in Baton Rouge, I highly recommend it. Go on an evening, like a Saturday night, watch them play a big game. Swing and a miss, strike 3. That's a strikeout for Walker. Not surprised, as recently Walker has been, I say recently, pretty much the entire season, Walker has been striking out way too much. Very high percentage of strikeouts for Christian Walker. Batting average is only .217. I think, Sergio, wasn't it you that talked about bringing up Bryce Matthews? I saw some information about that possibly becoming a reality for the Astros here very soon. Butterfly says, go to a Longhorn game at night. I would never do that unless they were playing the Tigers, because I'm a Tigers fan. I'm telling you, there's no way I'd ever be able to. I would ever be able to go watch a Longhorns game unless they were playing the Tigers. But I would like to experience it as long as they're playing the Tigers. Actually, I'll go see any college team as long as they're playing the Tigers. Otherwise, I won't go. It'd be a waste of my time and money. But I have to say that Tiger Stadium is the best. It's the best. But I'm biased. Sergio says, Brandon. What are you thinking, Sergio? Is this better not be about your man Christian Walker? Hey, listen, I will say this. If you actually go back and you look at the very beginning of the year, I was excited about the Astros getting Walker and Paredes because I just had a feeling that it was an opportunity for us to get some really good results without it costing us too much. But Walker hasn't even been mediocre yet. He's got a big uphill climb to make to become a valuable asset for the Astros. But historically, he's not even a good player. He's just average. So I was just thinking that maybe in this system, he would be able to really come off as or grow into a much better player. Just hasn't happened. Valdez is back on the mound, 67 pitches through 5 innings. Here comes the first pitch to Nick Castellanos. Good job, guys. 2 errors on the Astros defense right now on opposite sides of the field. Error by Christian Walker, error by Isaac Paredes. Walker's error was in fielding. Paredes' error was in throwing. They are not helping Fromber. Fromber has had to work a little bit to get these outs, but at the end of 6, he's got goose eggs on the board with just 3 hits. So you can't argue with the results. All we can do is point our fingers at the Astros bats. Completely hitless are the Astros. We have a walk, but no hits. That's pretty nuts. One of those things that I miss, Mark, you mentioned barbecue. I miss American barbecue. Japanese barbecue is good, don't get me wrong, but it's not like American barbecue at all. That's one of the things you don't think about until you start traveling to other countries and living in other countries. When you go to get barbecue in other countries, it's not American style. It's the local style. So other countries also have barbecue. It's just that they don't necessarily use the same meats and the same accessories, the same sides. They don't use the barbecue sauce that we use. There are a lot of differences. So Chinese barbecue is different. Japanese barbecue is different. By the way, I don't think Chinese barbecue is very good. It's the simplest, most basic barbecue, and the focus is literally just meat. And you think, oh, what's so bad about that? Just eat a bunch of meat. Well, who wants to eat just a bunch of meat? I mean, in America, when you have a barbecue, you have other things, right? You also grill some corn, and you have some maybe potato salad. You have some bread. You have a variety of things. You have the buns for hamburgers and hot dogs. I mean, we have a huge variety, but that's American style, is variety and barbecue sauce. Yainer Diaz is at the plate, fouls it off for strike number 1. But they like to put small pieces of meat, thin sliced meat, on sticks, and then just lay the sticks on the grill and then sprinkle this Chinese seasoning on it. Very dry and over just, wow, that one was launched into the crowd on the right side. Strike number 2 on Diaz. But it's too dry for me. It's very dry. It's a dry style with just sprinkled seasoning. There's no sauce. Don't really like it. Don't care for it. Next pitch is in the dirt inside. Ball 1, 1-2 to Diaz. In Japan, they have what's called yakiniku, which is just the Japanese way for saying barbecue. Well, yakiniku is really, really good. Really. The Astros have their first hit of the game. How about that? Yainer Diaz, another where he almost always hits the ball. Base runner, leadoff base runner. And that brings up Cooper Hummel. Sergio, here's your guy. Cooper Hummel. Outside, ball 1. Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed for Cooper Hummel. 1-0 is the count. Here comes the toss. High 87-mile-per-hour cutter. Swing and a miss. Strike 1. The count is even. Mark says Texas has its own food also. Other places in the U.S. don't get. Well, that's the thing. In that area down there, you get a lot of foods and Tex-Mex and barbecue and stuff that you just don't see in other places. And it's really, really difficult to get those types of foods in Japan. 2 balls and 1 strike to Cooper Hummel. Here's the 2-1 pitch. High, way high. 3 balls and 1 strike. This is actually the first time that Suarez has gotten into a 3-1 count. He's had a 3-2 count. Here comes the 3-1 pitch to Hummel. This is hit hard into right field. Is it going to get down? Yes, it is. Hummel with an opposite field hit to right center. Diaz just barely gets in there in time. He was kind of waiting halfway to see if it was going to drop or not. Back-to-back singles to the right side. A grounder for Yiner and a line drive single for Hummel. Hummel with a hummer to right field. There we go. Some productivity for the Astros. Back-to-back hits. All right, now we're cooking with gas. Dubon bunts it at the plate, but fouls it off himself. Strike one. Doobie trying to move the runners up with a little small ball. Hey, yeah, you're right, Butterfly. 33 likes. Thank you, guys. Yes, Sergio, if that's what it takes, do it for me. Dubon decides to swing this time. Misses it 0-2. So he abandons his bunt strategy for some reason and swings. Runners on first and second for the Astros here in the bottom of the sixth. No outs. 0-2 is the count. Diaz moves to third base. So a bunt would have been better, Doobie. I don't know why you started swinging. Jeremy Pena comes to the plate with 2 away. Big opportunity for our main guy right now, Jeremy Pena, to drive in an RBI. Come on, man. We got a guy on third base. What is that, 90 feet? 90 feet. I'm out. Come on, Pena. 2 outs and runners in scoring position. Jeremy Pena is batting .400 this season. How do you like that? Come on, man. Let's make it 400 and something. Move it upside. A bouncer. 0-1 is the count. Come on. Let's go, Flash. Hey, I'd be okay with a homer. I'd be okay with a homer, Butterfly. Fajitas. Oh, I love fajitas. But they're not my favorite. Outside, ball 1-1. I love cheese enchiladas, and I really love nachos. Mexi rice, refried beans, salsa, and chips. I love me some Mexican food. Here's a 1-1 pitch. Swing and a miss. Man, a changeup below the zone. Pena came around too early and missed it. If that had been a fastball, I have a feeling he would have gone down and launched it. 1 ball and 2 strikes with 2 outs. Come on, Pena. Pena steps out of the box for a timeout briefly. One-two pitch. Nope. Suarez disengages. Third base, waiting for Pena to bring him in. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Here comes the toss from Suarez in the dirt. 2 balls and 2 strikes. You know it's a difficult, close game when it's a nail biter like this. No runs. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Here's the pitch to Pena. Low and outside, ball 3. He doesn't want to pitch to him now. Full count with 2 outs. Diaz on third. Pena at the plate. Come on. Here's the toss from Suarez. Outside, ball 4. Woo. Okay, runners on the corners. He walks the Flash. Is Pena going to steal? Is he going to steal, or are they going to risk it? Paco Cabana. In Hiroshima City, there's a very small place. It's called Morgan. Morgan is owned and operated by a Japanese couple. If you guys ever visit Hiroshima City, I highly recommend it. It's called an American comfort food cafe. But it is absolutely the best, and their nachos are freaking amazing. Isak the ball Paredes is at the plate, takes that first pitch way inside for ball 1. How nice would it be for Paredes to get a jack right here But regardless, any RBI right here, I welcome. 1 ball, no strikes to Paredes. Here's the pitch. Too far inside again. Lots of pitches way outside the zone, inside and outside by Suarez suddenly. 2 balls and no strikes. 70 pitches delivered by Suarez. Here comes the 2-0 to Paredes. Right in there. A curveball, strike 1. 2 balls and 1 strike. I've got some cheese and eggs and tortillas in there. I can't wait to make some breakfast tacos after this game. Paredes steps out of the plate, or steps out of the box, rather. Yeah, Paredes was inside the plate, guys. He was hiding inside the plate. 2 balls and 1 strike. Runners on the corners. Here's the pitch. Right in the bottom of the zone, strike 2. The sinker. That was a perfectly placed pitch, and the umpire did not miss it. 2-2. Isak's making him pitch. 3. Paredes takes that pitch for strike 3. It was out of the zone, too far inside, but as much as I don't want to say it, I have to say it. When it's that close, you got to swing the freaking bat. And you know what? That has nothing to do with the umpire. That at bat is all on Paredes. Paredes took 3 strikes. He took 2 in the zone. I'm sorry, he swung at 1 and missed it in the bottom of the zone. He took another one in the zone. And then he took one that was less than an inch out of the zone on the inside. That at bat is on Paredes, not the umpire. Bad at bat by Paredes to take those pitches. Strands, runners on the corners. Astros got 2 hits that inning with no outs, so they had runners on and weren't able to score them at all. For some reason, they told Doobie to bunt on the first pitch. He fouled it off at the plate, strike 1. And after that, they said swing. And what does he do? Ground into a double play. What kind of logic are we dealing with here? Why didn't they tell him to just bunt it again? Because even if he gets thrown out, we still have one out with runners on second and third. What are the Astros coaches thinking right there? I know that's not Doobie's decision. That's the coach's decision. It's like, okay. We got guys on first and second with no outs. Doobie, bunt the ball, move them up. Okay. He bunts it. Then they're like, you know what? Change of plan. Just swing away. Are you kidding me? I really don't know what they're thinking, guys. Maybe you can explain to me why they would do that, because I really don't know. I seriously don't know why they would do that. Unless Doobie just somehow thought, I can hit this guy. I know I can hit this guy, and then he swings away. I don't think Doobie would do that. So I'm trying to understand why they would tell him to swing. If you guys have an answer, please put it in the chat. I'd love to see it. Yes, old dog, he had one job. He had one job. Doobie's job was to bunt the ball. For some reason, he didn't. Paredes' job was to swing at balls that are in the strike zone or around the strike zone, and he didn't. So they both failed. Doobie, I'm not sure if he failed because it was his decision or because it was the coach's decision. I don't know. The world may never know. Fromber is facing Buddy Kennedy. First pitch is in there on the inside corner. Strike one. Rant is over. Top of the seventh. Here's out number one. 2 pitches, 1 out in the top of the seventh. Butterfly said it looked like it hit him. Are you talking about the pitch to Isak? Yeah, Fred, you're right. Paredes is usually normally good at protecting the plate. He has a higher pitch to Schwarber. 7 complete innings for Fromber. 4 hits, no runs. A shutout through 7. Looks like we will be seeing Brian Abreu up on the mound. in the 8th inning. Fromber gets his job done. His work is done. How about that? Guys, here's a question for you. Do you think that the Astros are going to have to work this hard in every game? I'm a little concerned about the Astros' performance with Gordon on the mound. Now, if Gordon has a good game, we have a good chance. But I just wonder about the other Phillies pitchers. How are the other pitchers compared to Suarez right now? Suarez, obviously, lately, he's been really good, right? So it makes sense that they would match him up against Fromber for game 1 to try to have a chance here. It's been even Steven, right? But I just wonder about tomorrow's game. Are the Astros bats going to be able to do a decent job and keep us in the game? Is Gordon going to have a decent game? There are a bunch of questions, right? What do you think? Jose Altuve coming to the plate for the Astros. He's going to lead it off this inning. Old Dog says, that's what I like about Houston, all the choices. Barbecue burger, Southern cooking, steak, Cajun, shrimp, and Indian. You have to know where to go. Old Dog, to me, that's just America. Even in Shreveport. Shreveport is nowhere near as big as Houston, but you can get all that stuff too. Altuve's first pitch is taken for ball 1. Once you guys move over to another country, you'll begin to see just how special America is with its. Not enough time for Altuve to beat that one. Albone was playing in. 1 away. Here's the next pitch by Suarez. Just a little outside, but called a strike. Jake Myers at the plate, batting 4th today. 0-1 is the count with 1 away, nobody on. Bottom of the 7th. Right field foul ball, line drive, 0-2. If I had to choose just one restaurant to eat at for the rest of my life, it would have to be a family restaurant. And that's because they have a variety of things on the menu. I would not be able to choose a restaurant that has like one main theme. That would just kill me. Ball 1, Jake Myers, 1-2. Japan actually has several different family restaurant chains. It's not hard to find a family restaurant. Here comes a 1-2. Hit into the air on the infield. It should be easily playable by the first baseman, and it is in foul territory. Myers is retired. 2 up and 2 down. The Astros, once again, going back to the way they performed 1st through 5th inning. Just going down like ducks in a row. Ducks in a shooting gallery. Cam Smith comes to the plate with 2 outs. Come on, Cam, crank it up. Just put one of the Crawford boxes, man. You can do it. Just crank it. First pitch, crank it. Outside, ball 1. Not a good one to crank. Good decision there, Cam. Don't listen to me. Crank it when it's in the zone. How about that? When it's in the zone, you crank it. Here comes the 1-0 pitch. Check swing, up and in, strike 1. Fouls off of his bat. 1-1 with 2 outs. Old Dog says BGC in Manila, Philippines is a lot like Galleria in Houston, as everything American. Probably a lot easier to get a variety of American-style choices in Manila than in most cities in Japan. Low and outside, just barely missed. 2 balls and 1 strike. Absolutely, Sergio. Let's go, Cam. Let's go. Here comes the next pitch. Low and inside. Just barely missed. These are good takes. 3 balls and 1 strike. It's a hitter's count. The crowd gets a little riled up. Come on, man. Crank it out. We need you right now, Cam. We need crank it up, Cam. Here's the pitch. Ah, he tries. Too far inside. Swing and a miss. Strike 2, and it's a full count. Mark says, never been out of the U.S. I've been to 15 countries. It sounds like a lot, but I actually haven't traveled very much at all over the past 5 years. It's been in Japan. Bounced up the middle. Might be trouble for the second baseman. Yeah, Cam easily beats that out. So it's not a home run, but Cam gets an infield hit. Hit number 3 for the Astros. And we have a 2-out base runner. You can see it. Just a bouncer right over the head of the pitcher. Second baseman had no chance of throwing him out. I don't even know why he threw it over there. Cam was a couple of steps past the bag by the time the ball got there. Walker is at the plate with an opportunity to be a hero. Come on. Check swing, but couldn't hold back. Strike 1. A fly out and a strikeout for Christian Walker. 2 outs. He fouls this one off. Just like that, it's 0-2. Please don't strike out again. Anything but a strikeout. Actually, get a hit, a double, and score Cam Smith. That's what I want. I order you, Christian Walker. I order you to get a double. Hit it in the gap, right center field, all the way to the wall. I'm ordering it right now. I'm punching the order right now. That's my takeout order. Suarez goes over to first. Cam Smith is back. No balls, 2 strikes to Christian Walker. Cam Smith on first. In the bottom of the 7th, the Astros have 3 hits. This game is scoreless. Here's the pitch. Hit in the air and fouled off by Walker. The count remains 0-2. Hey, 3 likes away from 40. Jordan says, Brandon woke me up. Usually I get to set my alarm. Very happy to see he was so loud today. Very interesting. Here's the pitch. High and outside, ball 1. 1-2. Mark says I'd be scared to go out of the U.S. now. Why? I think it depends on where you go. Perfectly safe here. It's much safer here than in the U.S. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Low and outside. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Suarez is now up to 90. I thought it was 89. That's 90 pitches for Suarez. He's getting close to the end of his rope. Here's the 2-2 base. I was thinking second base and short. He grounds out. Well, at least he didn't strike out. We needed a hit. But a ground out is better than a strikeout for Walker. For anybody, I guess. Cam Smith is stranded on first base in the 7th inning. So we get through 7 full innings of baseball. 4 hits for the Phillies, 3 hits for the Astros. 2 errors for the Astros. No runs scored for anybody. It looks like it's going to be a battle of relievers because Brian Abreu has been warming up throughout the inning for the Astros. Excuse me, sorry. So he's undoubtedly going to be in the game for the Astros in just a moment. Suarez has thrown 91 pitches. It's possible that he could come back and pitch the 8th inning. But I don't know him so well, like I know the Astros pitchers. And I don't recall seeing any Phillies pitchers warming up the bullpen yet. So Suarez might come back out for an 8th inning. He might. We'll see. But Brian Abreu will be on the mound for the Astros in just a moment. Sergio says, with the mention of Vietnam, I want to express my gratitude to everyone who has served in the military. It's sad. It's sad that when you hear the name Vietnam, you automatically think of war. My last short-term girlfriend is from Vietnam. She's from North Vietnam. So she has a very strong, different opinion about the Vietnam-America war. What Vietnam calls it, the war with America. That's what they call it, the war with America. So they don't view it as the American military coming in and fighting and supporting the South against the North or against communism. They don't view it that way. They view it as America fighting with Vietnam and interfering in Vietnam's internal affairs and trying to put in and supporting a puppet government in the South. That's their angle on it. Especially Northern Vietnamese, that's really how they look at it. Brian Abreu is in the game. The first pitch is fouled away for strike one. Here comes the next pitch. In the dirt for ball one. The count is even 1-1. He's facing Alec Bohm. But there are some Southern Vietnamese people who know about the atrocities of the Communist Party of the North. They do not share the opinion of people like my ex-girlfriend. Low and outside. But also she's young. She's only 25. She doesn't know half. Probably doesn't even know 10% of the things that I know. 2 balls, 1 strike. Here comes the pitch to Bohm. Just a little low, a couple inches down. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Come on now, Abreu. Don't start off by walking people. Bohm is actually over 2 today. Let's make him over 3. Here's the pitch. Right in there. Bottom of the zone. Good pitch. Fastball, 98 miles an hour. I've been waiting for that pitch. Been wondering where that fastball is. Come on, Abreu. Full count. Buzz it by him. 3 guys were over. Hummel was over. Myers was in. Pena was back. Myers pulls it in. Good play, out number 1. Sergio, you know what? You want to hear something very interesting? When I visited Vietnam for the first time, there's a lot of military hardware, U.S. military hardware that was left behind. And they put them in these museums. It's a very interesting, weird experience as an American to go in there and see all that. First pitch is high and outside, but called strike 1, right on the edge, right on that upper outer corner. 98 mile per hour fastball. 0-1. Here's the pitch to Nick Castellanos. Swing and a miss. Nice. He went after that one. He chased it. He chased that one like a Yainer Diaz. 0-2. Castellanos calls timeout. It's a weird experience when you're an American and you're walking through a museum inside of a country you used to be at war with, looking at all this old stuff. There's literally a helicopter there, tanks and jeeps, all sorts of stuff. It's really amazing. Here's the 0-2 pitch. Check swing, did he go? No, he didn't. They say he did not go. That pitch was off the plate. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Castellanos. Hey, there are some beautiful women everywhere. Next pitch is in the dirt. 2 balls, 2 strikes. It looks like Orion Kirkring is warming up now in the bullpen for the Phillies. So it looks like they will have a reliever in the next, at the bottom of the 8th, rather. Strike the zone. Castellanos can't handle it. He can't handle the truth. Tommy likey. Tommy wants swingy. Heck yes. 2 away for Brian Abreu. Here comes 3. All right. Top of the 8th. No problem for Abreu. 3 up and 3 down, baby. Hey, but look at that. Suarez is actually coming out of the dugout, so he's going to start the 8th. I guess that makes sense. If he's capable of throwing over 100 pitches, and he's been doing well so far, Why not have him come out? I was kind of wondering if he was that type of pitcher. But they do have a reliever warming up in the pen. So that means that Suarez will be on a short leash for the bottom of the eighth. How sad would it be for Suarez if the Astros lit him up in the bottom of the eighth? But I have a feeling they won't have the opportunity. Even if Yainer comes up, he's the first batter in the inning. If Yainer comes up and hits a home run opposite field opposite field, right center field, which is his favorite spot, if he hits a homer there, will they pull Suarez out immediately? I'm not sure. But I think that if he walks Diaz, they will definitely pull him out. Isn't that funny? That's just my feeling. We'll see. Yeah, Mark, Colombia can be a scary place. It's a scary place. Jordan says, all I think or care about is foe. Yeah. When I was together with my Vietnamese girlfriend, it was nice being exposed to so many different types of Vietnamese foods. She could cook pretty much everything. And I would drive her to the Vietnamese supermarket. It's like a little store, not really a supermarket, but it's a Vietnamese store where she could buy a bunch of Vietnamese food ingredients. And she would often make me some Vietnamese food. It was quite often very good, but the thing is, she loves fish, just like a lot of Vietnamese. And a lot of Asians really love fish a lot. And I'm very picky with fish. I don't eat a lot of fish. I just don't like the taste and the smell very much. So I'm very, very picky. Away, 1 pitch, 1 out. Suarez got an easy inning so far. No opposite field home run from Diaz. Butterfly says, great defense, Astros. Well, great pitching. They made a couple of errors, couple of bonehead errors from Paredes and Walker, unfortunately, this game. But luckily, he didn't do anything. Hummel is at the plate. He had a hit his last at bat, one of only 3 hits. He has a single. First pitch is in there for strike 1, 0-1 with 1 out, nobody on. Here comes the toss. Right in there again. Hummel takes another one for strike 2, 0-2. Come on, man. It's the bottom of the 8th. You got to swing the bat. Josh Hader is warming up in the bullpen for the Astros. Next pitch from Suarez on the way in just a moment. Here it comes in the dirt. Glad you took that one. Wood ball, 2 strikes. Here comes the next toss. Grounded foul. He stays alive. Hummel with the 1-2 count. 1 away for Suarez. He's up to 96 pitches right now. Willard says, I hear rumors they found underground bases near Hawaii in the water. Whose bases? Whoa, up and in. Almost got him. I wouldn't have minded a little hit by pitch on the elbow. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Hummel. Old dog says allergic to fish. Here's a pitch. In the dirt, ball 3. So he's worked the count full. I know a couple of people, more than a few people, that are allergic to shellfish. Kind of dangerous if you're really allergic to it. 42 likes. Thanks, guys, for getting me over 40 today. It's been a difficult game. So it's nice to see you guys still hanging in there and being too early. Good stroke. Bullpen going crazy. Look at that. Absolutely wonderful. You know that he's got to be so excited right now. He had a wonderful game, man. He had a wonderful game. Still can't complain. He had a shutout going. A 3-hit shutout. The Astros and the Phillies now both have 4 hits, 4 and 4, but it was that 4th hit by the Astros so far that means the difference in this game. 1-0. 1-0. Pitching change for the Phillies right now, so we are on break currently. We'll be back in just a moment. 56 people watching. I think that count's going to go up. It's getting down to the wire here. I have picked up one more subscriber. If you guys haven't subscribed to the channel and you're an Astros fan, please do so. I appreciate that. What I'm trying to do on the channel is build a community. There are a lot of other things that I'd like to do, but for this season, I'm in the lucky position of, maybe it's not even luck, it's just grace, the graceful position of being able to live stream and do the play-by-plays for all of these games. And I plan to do that all the way through the end of the year. And then during the off season, I will be posting some other content related to the Astros. And then, of course, I plan to be back next season. During this time, I want to grow as much as possible for several reasons. But on YouTube, this is the only English live play-by-play for the Astros. It's the first. One of the reasons I started the channel is because nobody was doing it. There's a Spanish channel that does many different types of sports, and they have a lady that does the Astros games live play-by-play. But there is no English that does all of the Astros games live play-by-play. So that's one of the reasons why I decided to start doing it, because nobody was doing it. And I had the ability to do it. So here we are. 1-0 Astros. No runners on, 2 outs. Jeremy Pena is at the plate. Orion Kirkering is on the mound. Orion Kirkering. Pena hits this one hard. It's all the way out to left field, off the wall. Pena is easily able to cruise into second base. How about that? Yes, Pena comes in on the second pitch, rips it out to left field. Man, I told you guys he hits that fastball. That's a low fastball. Off the left field wall. Double for Pena. Astros now with 5 hits. Got another runner in scoring position as the Flash advances. Paredes comes to the plate. Opportunity to redeem himself from last at bat. First pitch is in there. 97 miles an hour. Strike 1. How about that? Back-to-back hits. Homer from Hummel. And then a double from Pena. Here's the pitch to Paredes. He socked the ball. He hits that one high in the air, and that's going to soar out into the crowd for strike 2. 0-2. Butterfly, you said don't change pitchers. I don't know. I'm kind of happy to see him out of there. Just because he gave up that homer doesn't mean that he lost his stuff, but you never know. Here's the pitch. Strike 3. Paredes goes down looking. He didn't like it, but it was clearly on the edge of the zone. Paredes, that's your fault. Stop arguing. He's still arguing with the ump. Be quiet, man. Just go sit down. Go get on the field. Get ready for the top of the 9th. That was clearly a strike. Paredes takes it for strike 3. That's the end of the inning. But the Astros get their 1 run. Are they going to win this game 1-0? Woo, we'll find out. In the top of the 9th, Josh Hader was warming up in the bullpen. It was Phillies 4 hits. Astros now have more hits for the first time in the entire game. The Astros have more hits than the Phillies. It only took 8 innings. I think my satellite was adjusting just now. I lost my connection for a few seconds. Jordan says we're not supposed to be able to beat these guys. Well, I don't know. I don't. This is the way I look at it. When I look at the Astros lineup versus the Phillies, we have 2 really good pitchers. We have our 2 best pitchers in this series. So I think we can win those games. That was my original thought. The game in the middle with our other pitcher, which I believe is Colton Gordon, it's a big toss-up. It's a coin toss. I see the Astros winning 2 and losing 1. That's my feeling. Win 2, lose 1 in this series. That's what I feel that the Astros should do. They can do. Crispy says Perez got robbed on that strike 3 call, the bat before this last one. I don't think so. It was the Crispy. The way I look at that is, if it's close like that, it was really close. And this umpire has been calling a lot of those strikes this entire game. That's not an inconsistent call. If it's an inconsistent call, maybe I have a problem with it, but it was not inconsistent. It was standard for this game. Swing and a miss. Otto Kemp just started in the MLB barely 2 weeks ago. Swing and a miss for strike 1. Here's the next pitch from Hader. Swing and a miss again. Man, he went after that one. That slider was dirty. That actually hit him in the foot, but he swung at it. Strike 2. His first time facing Josh Hader. Hopefully he has nightmares about it tonight. Yeah, it hit him in the back foot, but he swung at it. Here's 0-2 pitch. High fastball, misses it. Or rather, he takes it. Hader misses the strike zone, rather. That's what I was thinking. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Guillorme is in the field right now. Move. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Hader gets the out, gets the K for out number 1. 2 more outs. All right. The Mariners beat the Twins, Sergio, 6-5. Well, the Twins did their best. They almost got it. They gave them a run for the money, right? Yes, Singleton is back in the Astros minor league system. That's right. Here comes a pitch. Swing and a miss. Edmundo Sosa is 0 for 3 against Hader in his career with a strikeout. 0-1 is the count right now. Here's the next toss. Fouled off. 0-2. So Hader starts off both batters 0-2. Yeah, if we do our best, we can beat anybody, Butterfly. You're right. 1 more strike. Sosa calls a little timeout. No balls, 2 strikes, 1 out, nobody on. Top of the 9th, guys. Here's the pitch from Hader. Hit high in the air and way off into the crowd on the left side. Count remains 0-2. Yes, Mark. It looks like Spencer Arrighetti is getting closer and closer. Here's a pitch. Did that hit him? He says, yeah, it hit him on the arm. So we have a 1-out base runner. Right on the elbow. Right on the upper arm. Just barely got him. 1-out base runner. Had 2 strikes on him, then he hit him. There's technically 2 batters. He's hit the first 2 batters. It's just that the first one swung at the pitch. If you swing at it, it's a strike. It doesn't matter if it hits you or not. Here comes the next pitch. Hit high in the air on the infield. Walker is calling for it. He's got it. Out number 2. First pitch. Buddy Kennedy goes down. Johan Rojas comes to the plate with the runner on first. The number 9 hitter. 1 out away. 3 strikes away. from a 1-0 victory in game 1. What a hard-fought game this is. Here comes the first pitch from Hader in the dirt, ball 1. One ball, no strikes. Here comes the pitch. Taken outside, ball 2. The crowd boos a little bit, but that was clearly outside the zone by a good 2 or 3 inches. That was not even close. Here comes the 2-0 pitch. Fouled back. Nice high fastball, 96-mile-per-hour pitch. 2 balls, 1 strike. I heard about that trade, guys. You're talking about the Rockets trade, but I don't follow the NBA anymore. I stopped caring. It's just because of the way they referee the games. They don't call the traveling and the double dribbles and the walking, all that stuff. They don't call it. Fouled off again. 97 in the top of the zone. Rojas is swinging and just barely making contact. 2 balls and 2 strikes, guys. 2 outs. Runner on first. Top of the 9th. 2 balls, 2 strikes. 1 strike away from winning this game 1-0. Come on. Go Astros. Let's do this. Here's the pitch from Hader. Completely scoreless through 7 full innings. Both Suarez and Framber pitched a shutout for 7 solid innings. Abreu came in the 8th, tossed another shutout inning. Suarez stayed in the game, and check it out. Cooper Hummel, right here. Cooper Hummel with the home run. The solo homer, right center field, 390 feet. That gave the Astros the only run of the game, and that's all we needed in the 8th inning. 5 hits for the Astros, 4 hits for the Phillies. Astros win 1-0. 2 errors today. Very uncharacteristic error on the part of Perez. It was a simple throw to first base. He threw it way too high. Walker had to jump up and grab it. It allowed the runner to get on first. Walker's error was more egregious. It looked like a double error. When he fielded it, he didn't field it cleanly. It bounced out of his glove. Then when he tried to grab it and scoop it to Framber, he fumbled it again. So 2 errors today on the Astros, very uncharacteristic of them. But as far as the pitching, let's take a look at the pitching performance today. Suarez for the Phillies, 7.2 innings. He had it going on until that Cooper Hummel homer. So very close. Good game for him, but in the end, he lost the battle. Framber won. 7 innings pitched, 4 hits, no runs, 4 walks, 3 strikeouts. Not a lot of strikeouts for Framber today, but good results. Abreu, no hits. Hader, no hits. No earned runs for any of our pitchers today. 9 innings shutout. 6 strikeouts from our pitchers today. 4 walks, all by Framber. How about that? How about that? Now let's take a look at tomorrow's game for a quick preview. By the way, thank you guys for listening in. We were 4 away from 50 likes. If you haven't liked the live stream, I'd appreciate it if you did that now. It'd be nice to get to 50, but we might not be able to do it today. No big deal. Tomorrow's game is at the same time. You can see right here on my screen, the times are different for me because I'm in Japan. Today's game started at 9:10 a.m. for me, and it will be the same tomorrow. So whatever time the game started for you today, it will be the same time tomorrow. Colton Gordon is on the mound for the Astros tomorrow. He'll be facing Wheeler. Zach Wheeler. Zach Wheeler is a really good pitcher. This game right here, I consider to be the biggest difficult game of the series. With Zach Wheeler on the mound versus Colton Gordon, we really have no idea what's going to happen. Gordon could be on his A game, and the Astros could manage a few runs against Wheeler, and the Astros could really win this game. The Phillies are predicted to win it by like a 56.5% margin. I think that's actually kind of generous, but, that's my feeling. Let's hope that Colton Gordon has a really good game tomorrow, and he's able to keep the runs down, and the Astros are able to light up Zach Wheeler, because he hasn't been lit up too much. Look at this. 93 innings pitched and 118 strikeouts. He's got it going on in the strikeouts. He's given up 22 walks and 63 hits. He is on fire right now. So the Astros bats are going to have a challenge with this guy. Hopefully tomorrow's one of those games where their ace is just off. That's what I'm hoping. Wheeler is just off tomorrow. I think there's going to be more pressure on him tomorrow since the Phillies lost game 1. So if he messes up tomorrow and the Astros manage to win, then we would have a really good chance to sweep this series. Because you know who we have on the mound for game 3, right? Hunter Brown, baby. That's right. Hunter Brown against Sanchez. If we take a look at that matchup, the Astros are heavily favored at almost 60%. Sanchez is 6-2. He's not doing badly. Not nearly as good as Wheeler, but still respectable. However, Brown heavily favored in this game. So if we can manage a win tomorrow, guys, then we have a really good chance of sweeping the series. Tomorrow's game is the big one to look at, I think. That's my personal opinion. Anyway. Astros win. Astros win. How about that? 1-0. What a game. A nail-biter all the way through. Good win, go Astros for sure, Jay. Whew, Fromber was good. He had to work hard today, but he managed to work just a little bit harder. Our pitching staff was on point today. They didn't give up a single run. They did what they needed to do, and the Astros bats were just enough. Sergio says Hummel player of the game. I would say it's co-player of the game because Fromber gave us 7 innings of no runs scored. So Hummel and Fromber, co-player of the team for sure, in my opinion. Caesar says, great work, Hater. Giving the Phillies some bitter haterade on the first game. Yes, absolutely. And yes, Sergio, we really needed this win. What a statement win for the Astros to come out and beat a tough team with a tough pitcher 1-0. It was a pitcher's duel indeed. And we won it with a new guy. Our new guy hit the homer. Our newbie. The Reds beat the Stankies. All right. In the 11th inning. All right. Good job, Reds. Thanks for that update, Sergio. Yes, what a nice ending it was, Butterfly. You're right. Jay says Wheeler's probably the most underrated pitcher in MLB. His stats look good, I'll tell you that, but he does have a name. I know Wheeler. Wheeler's good. Wheeler is good. So I don't underestimate him at all. We need to get on him. We need to do our best to study. The Astros need to really study him and look at the best way to put the bat on the ball. Texas time, the game starts at 7:10 tomorrow. Okay, gotcha. For me, it will be 9:10, but I'll be starting the live stream a little before 9 a.m. here in Japan. Fred says Thursday game at 1:10. Yeah, there's that game. Game 3 is much earlier. It's going to be about 3:10 a.m. for me. I'm going to have to start that game in the middle of the night, guys. All right, let's see here. Brett Chansey said Ghost Rose today. That was funny. Yeah, I don't know what it is about these guys. You know, I know that there are several live streamer channels. There are podcasts and stuff like that. Locked On Astros is one of them. There's, of course, Brett Chansey has a couple of other streams that he does, a couple of other vlogs and stuff. Like he has his own Wheelhouse Media Company, and he does, I think it's with Mike Stanton. He does like a vlog or show with Mike Stanton. And then there's some other Astros channels, and I follow several, and I listen to those guys. Locked On Astros is okay. I don't usually listen to them all the way through because they don't typically add much that I don't already know, and I don't always agree with their opinions. I think that their opinions are different from mine in a couple of key areas, but here's the reason why. They're not watching every game all the way through like I am. I watch every game. I see every player. I see everything that's happening in the game. They don't. They have other jobs and they do other things. They're not watching every single game. And I think that when you're watching every single game all the way through, you're able to see things that a lot of analysts and commentators are not able to see. So, but I realized that once I started watching the games, and after I would say probably a few months of doing that last year, I began to realize, holy cow, I'm starting to understand the team in a completely different way. The vast majority of fans don't have time to watch the majority of the games. I would say most fans watch less than 20% of the games in their entirety. And imagine, what is the percentage of people that watch 100% of all the Astros games all the way through? What is the percentage? And out of all the commentators and sports analysts, especially even the ones that are just Astros focused, how many of those watch every single Astros game? A very, very, very low percentage. And as a result, channels like Locked On, I feel like they're too shallow for me. I'm not calling them shallow. I'm just saying that they don't have a perspective on the players and the games and their quirks that I do. It's not because I'm smarter. It's just because I'm watching all the games. It's just common sense, I think. But the Astros, maybe I can show you guys actually. No, where's it at? Where is that channel? Right here. This is my favorite channel for Astros. Sports Map Houston. Right here. Do you guys know Sports Map Houston? These guys, I listen to their videos 100%. Three guys having a conversation. This is like a 21-minute video right here, 21-minute recent video that they posted a day ago. I've already listened to it. Brandon Strange, Charlie Palito, however you say his last name, and Josh Jordan. I listen to these guys. All three of these guys have good, insightful things to say. They aren't a complete echo chamber of each other. They do agree on some key issues. But these guys right here, to me, are the best Astros analysts on the web. These are my number one guys that I listen to. I could only dream of having the subscribers that they do. They have almost 26K subs. I would love to have 26K subs. But of course, they've been around for a while. They have different backing that I do. I don't know why I didn't like the video. But I can listen to these guys all the way through. I like their take on things. Sometimes they say some things that I didn't think about. They kind of challenge me and give me insightful and useful information. The only reason I listen to Locked On Astros sometimes is because they might have some news that I haven't heard about yet, and I just kind of want to hear about that news. But as it relates to their opinion about the Astros, I don't really care. It's nothing against them. It's just that, like I said, their opinions to me are based on a smaller a smaller perspective. I have a much broader, bigger perspective. And somehow these guys right here with Sports Map Houston are able to present a much more well-rounded opinion and thought. I think these guys really know baseball. I think they really know and understand a lot of the details, and especially how the Astros system works. The Astros management and owners and managers, I think they really understand them quite well, and that's why I like to listen to them. But yeah. Stone Cold Astros. Yes, that's right. Stone Cold Astros. Anyway, let's see here. Polio gets obnoxious at times. It's okay, Mark. I can take it. I like his jokes and his dry sense of humor. But I like all the guys. They're all different, and that's why I like them. Is because none of them are misinformed or shallow with their knowledge of baseball and the Astros, and I appreciate that they're coming from three different perspectives, but really understand Astros baseball and baseball in general. I really like it. My impression from the other channel that I mentioned is that they seem more like just a couple of guys who like baseball and like the Astros, which is fine. But I think that if you're going to run a channel that is about commentary and giving opinions and dissecting the games and why the Astros are doing this and doing that, I think that you need to be more like an analyst with information and understand the game in a different way. And these guys, in my opinion, do that. I've been increasing my ability to see what's going on with the Astros and in the game simply because I watch every single game, and that's different. But I don't do the opinion videos, right? I don't get on. I don't know if I'll ever do that in the future. Right now, I don't have any desire to do that. My focus is doing the live play-by-play. I just want to get on here, do the live play-by-play, post some occasional highlights, some interesting things for you guys. And then in the future, what I'm planning to do is make some short-form videos that actually show some special things that are about the Astros. For example, I want to do a video, really want to do a video about Altuve and share a little bit about what I've read and seen about his life, regarding his life, where he came from, what he did. And there are some videos already online about that. It's just that I really like Altuve. And I'd like to spend some time to make kind of a small, not necessarily a documentary or mini documentary, but just a small kind of a tribute video to share some of the things that I like about Altuve, that I appreciate from his early life, his early career, and where he's at now in his personal life and on the field. One of these days, I'll get that together and I'll post it. But as far as just putting up a video that's just commentary about how the Astros are doing lately or how they did in this game or whatever, not really interested in doing that. Calling the game and giving my opinion before or after is enough for me. And you guys know me, I'm giving my thoughts during the game as well, during the live play-by-play. So I don't necessarily need to go and make a separate video talking about what I think about the game that was just played. Yeah, Brendan says Locked On Astros guys are really good podcasts. They're not bad. They're not bad. To me, I wouldn't describe it as really good. Useful? Yes, it has a use, but for me, not really good, just useful. Let's see here. Fred says that show's different from the other Locked On Astros regular show, which I'll watch now and then. Mark says Altuve literally loves Verlander. Altuve loves all of his old school teammates, I think. I think if Altuve were made the manager of the Astros, he would try to bring back all of the players that were there before, try to reestablish the old team. I think he's a nostalgic guy. J. Paul says Crush City with Chandler Rome is the best in my opinion. He's of course tied in as you get with the Astros. Yeah, Chandler Rome is pretty well known. Chandler Rome, I have nothing critical to say of Chandler Rowe. And Butterfly says, I love Verlander and Springer. Yeah, while they were here, they were pretty good. I don't really care for Correa anymore, especially because he's become North Korea. But now when I look at him, he looks different. He presents himself different. He's got a lot of tattoos that I think he didn't have before. He looks all gangster and stuff. It seems like his success has gone to his head a little bit. I was just having this conversation with a couple of people last night, a couple of my Chinese friends, and we were talking about how they basically said, yeah, sometimes people change. They just suddenly change their mind, or they suddenly change. And I said, people don't suddenly change. Nobody suddenly changes. People only reveal who they really are. Change takes effort. I was in a relationship, like I mentioned, with this Vietnamese girl, and everything about our relationship, 100% across the board, in spoken word and in action, was exclusive long-term relationship. Everything about it said exclusive long-term relationship. And then whenever she started business school and went to another city, a couple of weeks later, I went to see her. And when I showed up to see her, she acted like I had the plague. Just completely 180. And one of my Chinese friends in China, she's a lady. She was one of my students before. She said, yeah, sometimes, women or girls just suddenly change. And I said, no, no, they don't. Women don't just suddenly change. They just reveal themselves, or they are revealed. Just like men, people don't change that fast. And I asked my friends something I can ask you guys. If a guy or a girl suddenly wins a lot of money, and they get all that money, and they leave their family, they buy themselves a nice big house, a nice expensive car, they start going out partying all the time, they start going out with lots of girls, or they start going out with lots of guys, just having all this fun. Would you say that money changed that person? And most people would say yes. And this is the idea that most people have, is that money changes people. But that's not true. Money doesn't change anybody. That person was already like that. They just did not have the power and the means to reveal it. Money is what you would call a revealer or an amplifier. So when a person who doesn't have money is in a certain situation, they will behave a certain way. But when they suddenly get a lot of money, those restrictions are gone. They have the freedom to do whatever they want, and they become who they really are. They did not change. They changed their actions, but they did not change. They were always that person. They just didn't have the ability to be that person. So there was an expression I heard a long time ago that made a lot of sense. And the expression is this: money is an amplifier. Money is an amplifier. It means that whoever you really are, money will just amplify who you are. The more money you have, the more it amplifies who you really are. That's the truth. Money doesn't change you. It just amplifies and reveals who you are. It's that simple. So my former Vietnamese girlfriend, same thing. She didn't just suddenly change. She just revealed who she was. So that's fine. It wasn't easy for me to deal with, but it's fine. Let's see here. J. Paul says, how the Japanese ladies like the Americans there. Well, actually, Japanese in general tend to like Americans a lot, which I'm very lucky to enjoy. Number one, because the way a lot of America has gone in the way of kind of crazy things over the past, I would say 10 years or so. You guys probably know what I'm talking about. So many weird social things and messed up ways of thinking have just kind of gotten out there in America. And I'm glad those things haven't hurt the perception too much of Japanese people against Americans. That's the first thing. But the second thing is I live in Hiroshima. And I had a feeling that when I came to Hiroshima as an American, I was going to be treated differently here than in Tokyo. But it's not true. The people here have been very, very kind to me. And they're actually much more outspoken and interactive with me here than in Tokyo. It's not that people in Tokyo are cold. It's just that they are very focused and busy, and they don't want to bother anybody, and they don't want anyone to bother them, really. So everyone just kind of minds their own business. So if you talk to somebody on the train or just standing at the bus stop in Tokyo, they'll be a little shocked because you don't just suddenly talk to a stranger in public. But in Hiroshima, there have been many times where a person just suddenly speaks to me and says, hello, how are you? Where are you from? How long have you been in Japan? Not necessarily in great English. Sometimes they'll ask in Japanese. They'll ask me if I speak Japanese. 日本語は話しますか? はい、少しわかります. I understand a little. And then they'll ask me, どこから来ました? 来ましたか? It just means where you come from, what country. And I can say, アメリカから来ました. It means I come from, or I came from America. So, but I would say most of the time they make an effort to speak English. Let's see here. But anyway, generally, Americans are typically liked in Japan, so that's good. Mark says, success money can make one act different. Yeah, when you get things, Mark, it reveals. It doesn't make you act differently. So that's still not quite accurate. Success and money do not make anyone act differently. They just enable them to act differently. But they were always that person. Do you see the difference? They were always that way. They just weren't able to act that way. But whenever some kind of success or some kind of money comes in and enables them to act that way, then they do, because that's the way they always were. They did not change. This is a misconception that people have. That person did not change. If they say, oh my gosh, I can't believe it, that guy left his family. He won a lot of money in the lottery. He won like $1 million or $2 million in the lottery. He had left his wife and his kids. He divorced his wife. Money changed him. No, it didn't. It didn't even make him act differently. He chose to act differently because he had the power to act differently. He always wanted to, because that's always who he really was. He was settling for his relationship and family. It's a hard truth, but it is a truth. Not having enough money is the root of all evil. The Bible says the love of money is the root of all kinds of evil. So people always misquote that. The love of money is the root of all kinds of evil. But people always say the love of money is the root of all evil. But that's incorrect. The love of money is the root of all kinds of evil, is what it actually says. Space City. Space City says, go Astros. Absolutely, go Astros. I agree. Anyway, I guess that's it for the stream today. I'm really hungry, really, really hungry. And I have some cheese, eggs, and soft tortillas in the fridge. Just calling out my name, wanting me to get in there and cook, cook, cook. Thank you, kind, good people, my core audience, my teammates, for being here today. I appreciate all the support in the chat, outside of the chat. Everything is much appreciated. Arigatou gozaimashita. Thank you. I also say otsukare-sama deshita. It means thank you for your hard work. And I look forward to seeing you again tomorrow. Yes, you guys go get some sleep, sweet dreams, wherever you are. If you're in the West, have a good night. If you're a little bit closer, then go to bed, maybe. Go to bed soon, or go back to bed. And if you're in Asia, enjoy the rest of your afternoon. Thank you, Fred. I will do my best to enjoy my breakfast. I'm going to make some more coffee and go eat. You guys have a wonderful day. As always, I will say go Astros and see you tomorrow.